was a little self-conscious about being younger. I don't know. But yeah, if you like my little stroller illustration, I think it's really good. But I had a very happy childhood. It was definitely unique, but it was a good childhood nonetheless. So my parents always told me the day they brought me home, all of our family members were there waiting. A lot of my family they were very old. They were already in their 70s, 80s, but they were all at the house waiting to meet me. And 2 houses down actually was my grandma and grandpa's house, and my aunt lived there as well, my dad's sister. And so it worked out very nicely, having them so close. And actually my dad doesn't live in the same house anymore, but now he lives 1 house over to the left of my grandma, so he only just moved 3 houses down. He's been on the same block his whole entire life. So therefore I've been going there to that same block my entire life, still to this day. And I spent a lot of time at my grandma's house. My mom worked during the day, regular 9 to 5 hours, and my dad worked nights. So when I was really little and she was at work and my dad needed to sleep, I would just go next door and I would hang out with my grandma. My grandpa was there too. My grandpa passed away when I was about 6, so I don't have too many memories with him, but he was there for a little while as well. Fast forwarding a little bit to, I think I was 2 or 3 years old, and things weren't going that great between my parents. I mean, my parents being older and understanding life the way I do now, my parents are very, very different people, and so it didn't work out, and my parents split, and I moved away with my mom. Not far. I moved a couple of cities over, maybe 15-20 minutes, maybe even less, I don't even know, but not too far. But it wasn't like I missed out on seeing my dad or my dad's side of the family at all, as you'll see by my lovely illustration I'm about to draw for you. So I went to school in the city that my mom and I moved to, and so the way our routine would basically work, around 8 o'clock in the morning my mom would take me to work. I actually went to school directly next door to our apartment building, so it was like a 3-minute walk, and she would drop me off on her way to work. And then my dad, after sleeping and recovering from his night shift that he worked, he would come and he would pick me up every day. His car would be waiting for me there on the curb, and oh my gosh, get ready for my car that I'm about to draw for you. Oh my gosh, I used to draw cars like this when I was in elementary school, and I guess I never learned how to draw one properly. Oh wow, that's really bad. But anyway, he would pick me up every day and we would drive to a local nearby gas station, and he would get me a snack, and it was usually a chocolate chip cookie or something, which is probably why I was a chubby kid. But that was our thing. Every day, 3:15, he'd pick me up, we'd go get a snack, and we'd go back to his house. And I spent every day, Monday through Friday, there with my dad's family after school. We would go to my grandma's house where she was always waiting for me, and we would have dinner as a family every day of the week. I would have my snack. I would do my homework, which when I was younger he would help me, but as I got older, obviously he didn't have to help me anymore. I'd spend time with my grandma, I would help her cook, and we would eat dinner together, and that was literally my routine Monday through Friday from elementary school all the way through high school, really, until I could start to drive myself. But that was our routine every day, and I'm very thankful for that. And then around 7 o'clock at night, my dad would drive the 15 minutes and take me home every day without fail. And sometimes my grandma would come and we would stop and get our coffee at Starbucks or something, because that was her thing. She loved shots of espresso from Starbucks. And it was cool because as I got older, met a girl who was in the other twins class. We'll call her T because I don't know if she would want me to say her full name, but we were best friends from, well, actually she ran away from me first, or I ran away from her, I don't remember, but eventually we became absolute best friends all throughout, really, elementary school, middle school, high school, even most of college. And I would go over to her house all the time. Our parents were close, like we were really close friends. And she was actually in my first grade class too, so that was what like solidified our friendship. And then together we formed our group of 6. We were 6 girls. We used to call ourselves BNB6, but I could not tell you what that stands for because I don't remember. I'm surprised I even remember that. But this was my original squad, and unfortunately 2 of these girls we're no longer friends with. It just, you know, it happens. But the other 3 that I have, it's 4 of us now, and those are my girls. They're like family. I met them, I think one in like 2nd grade, the rest would in 4th grade, so we've been together for a really, really long time. And then let's see, I don't even remember what we're drawing here. Let's see. Okay, oh yes, when I was 10 years old, my dad remarried and had my sister. So I do have a half-sister who's 10 years younger than me, and this was a big deal because up until this point I had been an only child. So that was really exciting. So sister, if you're watching this, hello, because I know you might be watching this, so hi. So now we'll fast forward a little bit to 6th grade. My elementary school years were very, very happy years. When I got to 6th grade, I had started getting a little chubby. You know, everyone has their chubby phase. I also had braces. I got braces when I was in 5th grade. I got them very young. I think it was like towards the end of my 5th grade year. So, you know, I was shy and insecure. I was very quiet, and I just, you know, was not a cute middle schooler. So, and that was also, a lot of that was due, like my quietness was due to being an only child and being alone a lot. So, you know, alright, now try to use your imaginations here, guys. This is a stage. In 6th grade, I had a couple of friends that wanted to join the school play, and because, if I'm being honest, I was a follower, I joined as well. Turned out I was pretty good at it, and I literally stunned my family when they came to watch this play at how, like, into the role I was. The play was Sherlock Holmes themed, and I was Professor Moriarty's assistant, so I was an evil character, and I really got into it. And I did the school play 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade, and that was what really started to, you know, help me start to come out of my shell a little bit, and I just loved it. It was so fun. And then staying on the same theme there, of performing, in 7th grade I started to dance outside of school. I took dance classes at a nearby studio that was like less than 10 minutes from my high school and 5 minutes from where I lived. And my best friend T from kindergarten, she danced too, as well as some other girls that I knew. And I started with hip hop, and I absolutely loved it. That's a ballet bar, if you couldn't tell, even though I didn't really do ballet, but I absolutely fell in love with dance, and I was really good at it, and it was just another thing that got me up on that stage. And my family was like, I don't know who this girl is, but we're loving it. They loved that I was like putting myself out there. And even in high school, 9th grade through 12th grade, I danced. My high school had a program for the arts. Yeah, I went to a big high school, as you can see. But my high school had a program for the arts: dance, art, theater, choir, orchestra, band. You had to audition classes a day. And that dance studio was like our second home. A lot of my best friends were in that class, and we just got to make up dances and perform with our teacher. It was great. So when I was 14 years old, let's see, I don't even remember. I keep forgetting what I'm drawing, guys. Oh, yes, when I was 14 years old, after I graduated out of 8th grade, getting ready to go to high school, I went to my church for the first time ever. And I was still a little bit on the shy side, but my mom made me join the youth group for teenagers, where I met these two girls. They are sisters, and they are two of my best friends to this day. We ended up going on a trip, like a retreat, with our youth group, and their mom was my chaperone. And so that's how our moms became friends. And from being in that youth group, the three of us found other friends. We were all from different places, different ages, but we all would go to youth group every Thursday night, 7 p.m. after school, after we did our homework, and we would go to youth group, and it was one of our favorite places in the entire world. And most of my church friends are still my friends to this day, and this was squad number 2. As you'll see from this video, I have many different circles of friends, and so that was squad number 2. So we did so many things with our youth group. We would have barbecues and play games, and we would have snacks. We would do praise and worship together. We would have beach nights in the summer, and it was just, honestly, youth group was one of the biggest and best parts of what made me who I am today. And I'm very, very grateful that my mom made me go that one day. And all 4 years of my high school career, because I was in the youth group from 14 to 18 years old, we would go to this conference called Acquire the Fire. They don't do it anymore, but if any of you have ever gone to Acquire the Fire, let me know. It's basically a big conference for teenagers, teenage Christians, and this is a stadium, by the way. And the stadium that we went to, we had about 12,000 teenagers just praising and worshiping God, and they would do skits. They would have a comedian every now and then, and this is what really helped my faith to grow. When I was 14, that's when I was born again. I became a born again Christian, and another huge part of my life, and these conferences were so much fun. We saw the Newsboys live, we saw Toby Mac, School of Worship, and a bunch of other people, John Gray, if you know who that is. And it was just a very, very big part of my life, and honestly, a lot of my favorite memories are from those conferences with those friends, and I really miss those days. But yeah, if any of you ever went to Acquire the Fire, let me know. Also, around this time, I think I was like 16, is when I joined my church's media ministry for the first time. You guys know that I work in television, I work with cameras, and, directing things live and all that, and that all stemmed from being in my church. I started to learn how to operate studio cameras, how to direct, and it was all volunteer, but I fell in love with it, and I was doing it up until last month. But when I started my full-time job, I couldn't do it on Sundays anymore because I have to work, sadly. But yeah, it was a very, very big part of my life. When I was 16 years old, well, actually 15 technically, there was this boy at my church, and you could not tell me that he wasn't the cutest thing in the entire world. And so when I was 15, he started to slide into my DMs, if you will, but we didn't call it that back then. And when I was 16, we started dating, because I was allowed to date when I was 16. We were together for 3 years. The only reason I'm putting that in here because I feel like that's a very significant part of a young girl's life, her first real relationship. Yeah, so there goes that. In June of 2014, your girl graduated high school, and with that many kids, you can imagine how long that graduation was. Oh my goodness, it was hours and hours, and I remember it was like 95 degrees that day, and it was outside, but it was a very exciting day. I remember I dressed up really nice, I curled my hair really nice that day, and it was really cool. It was a scary feeling, knowing that college was next, but it was a really exciting day. Then it was time for college. I applied early decision or early action, I think it was early action, to a college that was 20 minutes away from where I lived and where I grew up. And I commuted every day in my car. My parents were nice enough. There goes my beautiful car again that I'm drawing. My parents were very nice enough to help me buy a car as I was graduating high school, and they said if you go to school locally, we'll get you a car, because college was a lot cheaper, being a commuter. So it worked out. There were many times I wished that I would have dormed, but it worked out. So because I was a commuter, I had to go to my school's commuter barbecue to help, commuters meet other commuters. And I met this girl named 𝓢𝓸𝓬𝓲𝓪, who's turned out to be one of my best friends. To this day, she was my first friend at college, and she stopped me on the way there and asked if I was going to the commuter barbecue. And we found our way over there together, and to this day, she is one of my best friends. Hi 𝓢𝓸𝓬𝓲𝓪, because I know you're going to be watching this. But I was, like I said before, I was very shy, and she really was my only friend for a while. I think we had one other friend, and that was about it. And, college is a time where people, you meet a bunch of people in your dorm room, and you all go out and party and do all these things together. And I was sad for a while because I didn't have that, and, granted, it's low-key my fault because I could have joined clubs and stuff, but I was just too, I guess, scared to do it. I don't know. So my freshman year, I got a little sad sometimes because I saw all my best friends from high school were going to all these parties with their roommates and stuff, and I didn't have that. But one of the very good things that came out of my freshman year, sorry if you can hear my stomach, I'm really hungry. January of 2015, I was on my winter break from school, and I have been watching so many ASMR videos, and I was like, you know what? I think I can do this. So one day I set up my phone on my windowsill and made my first ever ASMR video. And I held on to that video for a while, trying to work up the courage to actually post it. And eventually I did. I think it was January 4th or January 7th, I don't remember. And YouTube was absolutely one of the best decisions I've ever made in my entire life. Moving on to sophomore year, that is where my friend group really started to grow. I should have said like sophomore and junior year because it was both years. But I started to develop squad number 3. Most of them were like already one big friend group, but then I became friends with them as well as, 𝓢𝓸𝓬𝓲𝓪 and I, and that was squad number 3. Oh my goodness, my stomach. I really hope you can't hear that. I should have eaten before I filmed this. Anyway, so that was where my friend group began to actually grow, and we would go out and we would do things, and I was a lot happier. I also changed my major my sophomore year. I went in as a psych major because I didn't know what else to do. And then I quickly changed to film and TV when I realized I had a passion for it and I could study it. Shout out to my dad who made me realize that way back in the day. Let's see, when I was 21 years old, it was the summer after my junior year of college, only, honestly, internship that I ever had. And it was for a local television station, and I was a studio operations intern, so I worked with the directors and I basically shadowed them and saw what they did. And this is a control room that I'm drawing for you, by the way. Those 3 boxes on top are screens, and then the other 2 are buttons. A control room is very, very intimidating, and I was absolutely terrified, and I thought, oh my goodness, I picked the wrong profession that I want to think about doing. It's very, very intimidating, but I loved my internship, and I honestly remember it like it was yesterday. And I was very lucky that even though I was still in school, I was going into my senior year, that same TV studio offered me a job. They said, do you want to come back as a freelance director and really train and, actually learn how to be a director and really direct? So 2 days a week I would work, and I would go in at like 4 a.m. to train, and then eventually later on in my school career, my senior year, it went to 2 p.m., which was a lot better. But I worked my butt off my senior year, going to class and also working at the studio and training, and I worked weekends sometimes too. So it was a lot, but honestly, I'm very happy that I pushed myself and it worked out in the end for me. In 2018, May of 2018, your girl graduated college, and of course, as you guys know, all while this was all going on, I was also doing YouTube, and it was like my escape from everything. But yeah, I remember it was a really rainy, miserable graduation day, but it was also like a holy crap, I graduated college feeling. It was a great, great feeling. I miss college a lot, and if I could go back, honestly, I would do things very differently, but you know what, it all got me to where I am today. So in June of 2018, I moved from New York to Connecticut with my mom and her husband, and it was 1 hour away, and I was very sad about it at first because it was far away from my friends and my job and my dad's family, but as you guys can see, I have adjusted. It's been 1.5 years since we've been here, or more, and we're doing well. And I won't be here forever, as you guys know. December 2019. Oh, get ready. I'm gonna draw a better card for you. I don't know why I made the wheels so big though, but anyway, December 2019. A lot of you guys probably remember I bought my first car. It was my first purchase that I ever really made on my own, like first big purchase, I mean, and I was very proud of it, and I absolutely love my car as my baby. If you haven't seen my car tour video from a couple months ago, definitely go check that out. This past February of 2020, I finally got my first full-time job. I'm gonna draw the control room for you again. That's what I'm drawing here. And it is the same control room, the same studio that I was an intern for. I have been there. June will be 3 years since I became an intern, so I have been there for almost 3 years total. I was an intern for 2 months, and then I was a freelancer for about 2.5 years, and just recently I have become a full-time television studio director. And man, I was believing for it for a long time because I needed a full-time job, and finally something opened up, and so things are going well. Getting my life on track, guys. Trying anyway. And that is where I am now, and these are just a few words to kind of wrap up how I'm feeling. Happy, thankful, faithful. I should have wrote blessed, but I didn't, but you can pretend that that's there. Grateful for everything and excited for what's to come. So yeah,
nutshell, I left a lot of things and a lot of, you know, names out, but that would have been a really long video if I, you know, added every single detail. But if you're watching this, whether you're a friend, a family member, or, you know, one of my amazing subscribers or viewers, you all play such a big role in my life, whether you know it or not, and I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching.